Recently, Apple has actually made some really good steps when it comes to repairing their devices, especially with the 13 and the 12 specifically. There has been a little bit of drawbacks when it comes to some software aspects that they have expressed disdain over, but most of it does seem to be pretty positive. But with all of it, let's dive into it and explain it this episode. With it, we actually have what is now technically the second biggest piece of news with everything going on. So, Apple, if you replace their screens now with third party repairs, Apple doesn't lock Face ID anymore. Pretty big deal on that part because whenever you did replace a screen, if it's not through an Apple certified repair, you'd lose core functions like Face ID, auto brightness, a lot of things like that.
That would suck if you live in an area that didn't have an Apple certified repair place.
Yeah, really, which is like pretty much outside of any pretty big city on that part,
Exactly.
which is a massive positive when it comes to right to repair as a whole. On top of that, I know in the past the only ways you could get around not having to go to a certified Apple repairer is by taking the little microcontroller on the display itself and transferring it over to the new phone.
At that point, I just rather drive over to an Apple store. Road trip.
Road trip. This is an update that will be coming to iPhone 13 specifically for the moment being. No word about any other devices as the moment. But it's not announced when this specific update is coming out, so make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to, learn about when it does go live, because we'll definitely be covering that plus more in the future. And when it comes to talking about Apple with these specific topics, I don't mean to choose them constantly. More often than not, their name just pops up in the headline, to be honest. While we're on the topic of Apple here, and we're talking mainly about good, always got to balance it out with a bit of bad. Let's be honest on that part. This time around, Apple has, confirmed their stance even more when it comes to sideloading, actually releasing a 16-page document as of why they don't support it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it goes over stuff like the risk of viruses, ransomware, privacy invasion, piracy. It's actually well written for obvious legal reasons because they're kind of being attacked by the US and EU with possible laws coming mostly from the EU right now about forcing Apple to allow sideloading. As you'd imagine, Apple claims that they don't want to compromise their billion plus users with the risk of sideloading. Okay, can we at least be honest that most people never use sideloading in their entire life?
Would agree to that.
If someone really wants to sideload, they already chose an Android.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
So then just that raises the question, does Apple even need to do it then?
It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, Apple just wants to protect their devices and their people. Understandable. And they just, main portion being they want to protect their revenue stream that is the App Store. We could be really honest about that front. I mean, real quick, do you guys think that Apple should be forced to allow sideloading?
No, it's their platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can do whatever they want.
Small piece of news aside. That a modified iPhone with a Type-C port sold for $86,000 on eBay.
Yeah.
That actually works.
It works. It's fully functional.
It just works.
It just works. For the actual biggest piece of news that came out after the last time we tried to record this video because of faulty audio.
Lucky.
Massive fucky wucky. That Apple has now announced their own self-service repair. Core of it is you'll be able to buy a genuine Apple product, install it on your device, and it should just work. Be good to go on that part. Big thing about it is it's going to take a bit of time for this to come around. It's going to launch in Q1 of 2022 and have more simple repair items accessible. I'm talking, screens, cameras, the battery. One interesting part about this program as well that I actually kind of like is that with the program, if you buy your part, install it, and send Apple back your repair piece that was damaged, you actually get a partial refund on your purchase for them recycling that piece. One thing that's definitely gonna be a little bit more skeptical is the price of the given genuine Apple parts, as they like to call it throughout this entire document. It's not going to be cheap, but hopefully it should at least ease the pain a bit with you being able to get a refund for the part that you return, which is a very efficient way to recycle e-waste as well. Massive plus for that. Props to Apple as well, and they also do say their standard stuff. If you're not confident with your repair capabilities, just go to a genuine Apple repair shop. or a certified Apple repairer. To quote Jeff Williams, the COO of Apple, creating greater access to Apple genuine parts give our customers even more choice if a repair is needed. In the past 3 years, Apple has nearly doubled the number of service locations with access to Apple genuine parts, tools, and training, and now we're providing an option for those who wish to complete their own repairs. Personally, I'm a big advocate of people learning how to repair their stuff and maintaining it, so massive win here. To be fair, like, Apple has been creeping into the repair space for some time now, and this just kind of seems like the next logical step for them because they have been, like they said, expanding their locations over the past couple of years, and now offering their parts even more. That's going to be a massive source of revenue for them. They do plan on expanding to other models of Apple products. Initially, it's going to start with the iPhone 12 and 13 specifically, but we're going to be looking at M1 MacBooks getting options as well, both the Pro and the regular and the Air.
So if you crack your screen,
you can replace it.
I cracked it.
I mean, there are reports of like people's screens just shattering. I will admit, one weird thing on this document though are the art. It doesn't look
it's
good.
dog water.
Sean, you've done better jobs. You're better than Apple. Just a small note into the specific wording of it all. The new store will offer more than 200 individual parts and tools, so you're not gonna have 200 parts to choose from. It's gonna be the tools and given things as well, because you need a lot of different tools to be able to work on Apple devices. I usually don't give them too much credence when it comes to a lot of things in terms of how they gatekeep certain aspects of their devices, but this is definitely a right step in the direction. And Apple has seemed to be making very good moves in the past year or two. I mean, think about it, with the Mac Pro, those things used to be like razor thin, no air circulation, no ports. But they've turned around on that. I mean, giving credit to the iPhone 13, it's theoretically a little bit okay to repair. It's not the worst out of any Apple device. It's not the iPhone 11. I will admit that. Hopefully, with the next generation of iPhone, they make it easier for repair. That'd be a neat concept, right? Well, that's kind of the big news from Apple over the past week or two on that part. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts for the people who are watching right now? Do you think Apple's making steps in the right direction as a whole, or are there any aspect you want to see them improve in specifically? Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. And while down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell as well. We do try to post around twice a week when we don't have technical issues. And we also do have a podcast every Saturday at 1 p.m. Arizona time. If you also wish to follow us on other platforms, we do have a Twitter at tech_4, the number 4_thought, and at Instagram at tech_4, spelled FOR_thought. And I do thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.